Welcome back to Corner Stories. Please enjoy this video and don't forget to give it a like and subscribe. And now let's get on to story 1. I am 29 years old and I have been with my partner for 12 years now. Since we have been together, his mother has made it clear that she hates me. I never understood the reason, but I think it is out of jealousy, given that before me, he was mommy's boy. My partner proposed to me when we discovered that I was 3 months pregnant, and I said yes. I was very excited and quickly began the preparations. I hired a wedding planner, and from there everything went wrong. My MIL told everyone that I was a bad woman for not taking care of my own wedding and that I was tying up her son with a pregnancy, that I was lazy and kept. We both paid for the wedding. Since we have been together for so long, we have a shared savings account and we have been able to save a lot. We always said that if we ever separated we would split the account in half, and now that we were going to get married and have a baby, we used it for planning. But my MIL says that the tradition is that the bride's father pays for the wedding, and since I don't have a father I should take care of the expenses. My fiancé told her that was stupid and to stay out of her finances, and he wasn't asking her for money. Even though my boyfriend threatened not to invite her to the wedding, my MIL continued making comments like that. Everything collapsed when I tried some things from the banquet and realized that they had nuts and other things to which I am allergic. Although I did report my allergies to the coordinator, I ended up in the emergency room. Luckily nothing happened to my baby, although if he was in danger, it was when my boyfriend asked the organizer for an explanation. It turns out that I and she communicated by email and he never received my list of what we were allergic to. That is, if my husband's one arrived, but when it came to mine it said no allergies. My husband has the emails registered on his mother's computer, since it was our old computer. My partner didn't think twice and immediately accused her of it, and he also told her that he no longer wanted to have contact with her. For my part, I began to rethink my entire situation. He has already recanted and brought his mother back into our lives again, so I can't trust his word. And I really don't plan to risk it again, and even less so with my baby. She didn't care that she could lose her grandson. I love him with all my heart, but right now I have more love for my son and also fear of his mother. Little by little I was canceling things, and when it came time to return certain deposits I put them in the savings account. My partner did not realize this fact until he went to the place where we had ordered the cake to make sure of the ingredients and found out about my cancellation, after asking me by call why I cancelled, so I asked him to meet up. I told him that I no longer felt safe about getting married, that I loved him but I didn't feel safe that the two of us, me and my baby, would be close to his family, that I wouldn't marry him but that he would be part of our baby's life. He told me that he was willing to stay away from everyone for both of us, but I can't believe him. He had already said it before and a few months later we were back to the same thing. I remained firm with my decision and gave him the ring. I also showed him everything I could return to the shared account. I told him that what they would not refund I only deducted from my part and that I already divided our money and took out my part. It's been a week and I'm devastated. He is too. Our mutual friends have told me, some say I did well and others say I was miserable. I only look out for the health and well-being of my baby and myself. His mother started spreading the rumor that it was my ex who broke up with me when she discovered that my son was not hers, and I have received comments calling me a slut and a prostitute. Relevant comments. If he was so aware, why does he even want his mother around? She tried to kill his fiancée and his unborn child. He shouldn't have needed to be told having that deranged woman back in his life was a deal breaker. He should know that. Why isn't he going around telling everyone that what his mother is saying now is lies and clearing Op's name? I've been asking him for this for a week now and he still hasn't come to my defense. I've already consulted a lawyer. But I am seriously considering returning to my country and not allowing him to be near my baby. You'll never be in the wrong for protecting yourself and your baby. Info: could you give more details about how his mother acted towards you and how your boyfriend responded to her over the 12 years? What were the conversations like between you and your boyfriend when he cut her off and when she came back in your life? Did he talk to you before bringing her back into your life, or was it a surprise? Without additional info it's difficult to say much about your decision to end the relationship. On one hand, it's 1000% reasonable to end the relationship if he has a long history of going back on his word or continuously allowing his mother to insert herself in your relationship. On the other hand, ending things after 12 years seems over the top if this is the first time he's fucked up like this. I think it's fair to say that the MIL's reaction was extreme and most kids would never expect this from their parents. Really hope this makes sense. My brain is fried and I've had to redo this comment an embarrassing number of times. You're a great mom, OP. I'm sorry you have to go through this and I hope things improve quickly. OP, I'll tell you 3 things my MIL did, how my ex reacted and how long it took to let her back. It will not go in chronological order but rather from least serious to most serious. My MIL paid a friend of mine to tell my boyfriend that she was cheating on him. She took advantage of the fact that I was visiting my native country, Chile, for national holidays. My boyfriend believed him at first, but when he asked for strong evidence and they had nothing, they had to change their strategy, saying that I had forced them to eliminate everything. When I came back, he didn't say anything to me for a month. During that time he acted strange, controlling, and even checked my phone. That was the final straw, and I asked him for explanations. He didn't want to give me any explanation, but his sister told me everything. I broke up with him due to mistrust, and I didn't speak to him again for 6 months. After apologizing to me and showing me that he had kept his mother and my friend away from him, we returned. Almost 4 months went by when he told me that her mother had already apologized to him and me, and that she wanted us to visit her. I never received an apology directly, she only apologized to her son. A few years ago I had an accident and I was left with a scar. It looks like a cesarean section scar, and one day at her house, we went into the pool and she saw my scar, and from there she kept insisting that I had had a son. Where was my son? Surely you abandoned him, surely he belonged to a married man, and that's why you didn't say anything, and now you want to turn my poor son into a stepfather. I explained to her, but the lady continued with the same thing, so I left her house. My boyfriend told me that I was rude for leaving his mother talking to herself, so I told him that if he wasn't going to defend me, we'd better break up. My boyfriend didn't want to break up, and he spoke to his mother to stop her from talking. She had already told everyone that I was a prostitute who wanted to make her son a stepfather. My boyfriend told me that he stopped talking to his mother, but after 2 weeks I came back from work. My boyfriend was in the bathroom and his mother was rummaging through my drawers. He faced me again and forced me to show him photos of my son. I demanded that she leave, and she started attacking me. My boyfriend came out of the bathroom and saw how his mother called me a whore while she hit me. He kicked his mother out of the house. A month went by and out of nowhere he told me, "Get ready. Let's go out." Where did we go? To a restaurant to celebrate his mother's birthday. This was when we were 2 years into the relationship. I had already been by his mother's house several times, but never for Christmas. That dinner, each thing had 1 or 2 ingredients that gave me allergies. I couldn't eat anything and I practically wanted to force myself to eat. Luckily I realized it before trying anything, just before putting the food in my mouth. She knew my allergies, but she pretended not to know. My boyfriend supported me that time and left dinner with me. The next day his mother went to his house complaining about why he left. That was the first time that my MIL confessed that she had never loved me, that she hated me, and I did confess that she did that with the full intention of seeing if I would get a reaction. My partner kicked her out of the house and didn't speak to her again for a whole year. Then the lady invented that she had had a heart attack. I found out about that years later, because my SAIL told me, and he let her in again. Update number 1, January 15, 2024. Thank you all for your comments and for your advice. It's been almost 2 months since my mother-in-law tried to poison me while I was pregnant with her grandson, and a few things happened. My MIL continued to spread rumors that I cheated on her son and that my baby was not her grandson. So I got tired and asked my ex to come out and say that everything his mother said was a lie, but he didn't do it. On the contrary, he told me, "Let's do a DNA test so that my mother will stay silent." I told him that I would not please her and that if he was not going to defend myself and his son, he better not even think about being the father of my baby. Not even that made him react. So I blocked him and decided to consult with a lawyer on the issue of custody and parental rights. After that discussion I had a few really calm days. The accusation simply stopped and many apologized. For a moment I believed that my ex had come to his senses and defended me. But the peace ended quickly. Last week my MIL entered my apartment, where she lived with her son before we separated. By force, I don't know how and I don't know how long ago, but she had a key, and she stole my baby's ultrasounds and all my medical records from my house. Luckily I caught her just when she was running away from my apartment. I confronted her. She tried to justify her actions and say that the ultrasounds also belonged to her son. When I asked her to hand me what she had taken from my house, she started yelling at me, that I was taking her grandson away from her. I reminded her that she had tried to kill her grandson and she had disowned him. That's when the attack became physical. Good luck to me. My neighbors came out when they heard the screams and defended me. Also one of them, they decided to call the police. Finally they took her away for assault and burglary. I also reported her for poisoning. When they arrested her they discovered that she had also stolen my passport and money, and she justified everything because she was afraid that I would flee the country with her grandson. After that scandal, my ex came to my apartment complaining about me for reporting his mother. He also tried to hit me, but at that moment his sister and BIL were there and they defended me and called the police. Before, he had violent reactions, but he had never tried to hit me. I must say that my SIL always was and is very kind to me. She was the one who always defended me, the one who set limits for her mother, and it was she who spoke to every person who called me a bitch, and she told them what my MIL did to me with everything that happened. I no longer felt safe in my apartment, so I made the decision to return to my native country, before my baby is born. So while I gather all the necessary things and receive the discharge from my doctor, I stay at my SIL and her partner's house. Regarding the legal issue, I must say that I am considering not continuing with the complaint, given that this takes time and I am already almost 6 months pregnant, so my possibilities of leaving before my daughter is born are being limited. Edit. I'm sorry in advance if you don't understand my English. I try to improve every day, but it's difficult for me. New update. Update number 2, February 23, 2024. Hello everyone. I came back here because many have asked me for an update. It will be the last one I do. I am in Chile. I came on February 16th. I am currently living with my mother, while she can go back to work and rent an apartment. My pregnancy is going well. If everything goes as we hope, he will be born at the end of April or beginning of May. Well, everyone surely wants to know what happened with the complaint or with my ex-mil and the father of my baby. I spoke with my lawyer and he told me that even if I didn't want to, we couldn't eliminate the complaint given the seriousness of the charges. My lawyer asked the judge to give me authorization to leave the country. I didn't have any problem. I can make any statement by remote video call. Now, I would like to be able to say that my last days in that country were calm, but that was not the case. My ex found out where I was living and made a fuss. He arrived with a bat and destroyed SIL's car, then he attacked his BL. My SIL and I locked ourselves in the bathroom. While we called the police, they took him away, and he was arrested for violating the restraining order, damage to private property, and assault. He is finally in jail. Days later we received a very shocking visit. Apparently mommy's boy, not only was he a violent man, he was also unfaithful. That's right, he had a lover for 9 years with whom he has 2 children. The very shameless one went to my SIL's house to ask for money for her children and to talk to me so that I would remove the complaint. The mistress even had the nerve to blame me because my ex didn't marry her. This destroyed me even more. I never saw a single sign. They all say that there are signs, that one senses it, but it was never like that. He never came home late, he never arrived smelling like another woman, he was never distant with me, and even his cell phone he never had a key. It makes me sick to know that there was never a single sign that made me suspicious. Now I can only wonder how naive was I. I don't understand how he could be unfaithful to me. Now I feel insufficient. Now he asked me if maybe the fact that he couldn't get me pregnant was the reason, maybe how many more children he will have there. It's hard for me to believe that I wasn't enough for him. Sorry, I'm still having a hard time processing all this information, and I've been questioning a lot of things. But my family is helping me. They all welcomed me with a lot of love, and they have been a great support network. I have allowed myself to cry on their shoulders and be pampered a little. They hardly let me do anything at home. They have helped me to complete what I was missing for my baby. At least I am happy to know that I have all this support and my daughter will not lack love. As for my SIL, she was disowned by a large part of her family, but her grandmother and her in-laws have given her all their support. Unfortunately, my lawyer advised me that while the investigation is ongoing he will limit my contact with her, so I will not say which city I would go to live, and I will only inform you of the birth of my child. I know that many wanted a bigger closure. They probably want to know if they will spend many years in prison, but I don't have that information. I only know that the investigation continues and there will be nothing that can stop it. Thank you all for your advice and concern. Relevant comments. I'm glad you are safe and surrounded by love. Listen to the lawyer and let him carry the big burdens for you. Focus on yourself and baby. You did nothing wrong. He was and is a bad person. He came from a bad person. Toxic people do toxic things. That is not on you. Yes, my lawyer said that he would take care of everything, and that it won't worry me. I plan to follow everything he tells me to the letter. For now my only concern is my daughter and finding a job. I thought he could be the exception, like his sister, but he turned out to be the same or worse than his mother. Infidelity was a big blow for me, since he always criticized unfaithful men, but I see that he is just like them. Thank you for joining me today. Don't forget to connect with each other in the comments below. Until next time, be kind, be curious, and I'll catch you in the next video. Corner Stories signing off.